All right, we are recording, and that's really great because I'm going to send this out to as many people as possible. Hi, Claire May. Glad to see you're here tonight. Haven't seen you around in a while. Glad you're up and about. And not a big, huge crowd tonight. Probably the weather had a lot to do with that. But we're going to talk about email autoresponders. And you may or may not have seen this before. I ran this once or twice last year. John says he likes free prizes. That's good because I've got my pen out and my notebook, and I'm going to be taking down some names. I'm going to be giving away some prizes, and what that prize is, I'll be talking about in just a minute. But right now, I just want to welcome everybody to the Little Black Book of Autoresponders, and we'll be explaining what all that is. Autoresponder is a very important part of internet marketing, and I'll show you exactly why. I'm your host, Colin Martin, and again, this is a part of my real content, real training, and we'll be having throughout the whole year. As if you know me already, then you're well aware that I don't just talk about and try to teach about fluff. I only work with things that really make money because I spend a lot of time not making any, and then all of a sudden I learned very slowly how to get the money rolling in, and I'd rather not talk about things that would waste your time, your valuable time. And speaking of that, I do appreciate the time you're spending tonight with me because it's going to really pay off at the end. You really get a great idea of what exactly autoresponders can do and why they're so important. And Claire May says she writes email autoresponders for different companies. That's great. That's interesting. Then we can compare notes a little bit on that because content is exactly what we're going to be talking about, not necessarily the technical aspects of, how to set up an autoresponder series in a technical sense. They're actually quite easy to do. And most email programs, they're easy. There's even a WordPress app that has a free autoresponder series that comes with it. So whether it's free or whether it's paid, it doesn't really matter. But what you write in it has everything to do with driving people back into the heart of your products and services. And you want to get people back to the website after they have opted in. So we talk about opt-ins a lot, and I'm a big list building fan. But if somebody opts in and you build a list, what happens after that? And I'll show you some experiments that I ran here that are very apropos to all this and why it's important. So there's going to be a Q&A at the end, so you want to stick around for that. But of course, if you have a burning question before that, I don't mind answering them throughout the presentation. So you can put your question in the chat box if you really have something that's just gnawing at you to death. But I am Colin Martin, and I am your host tonight for the Little Black Book of Autoresponders. But right now, check out that happy puppy there. Someone is going to be really happy because I'm giving away 2 spots to my paid group coaching program called the Dream Alliance. The next session is going to be in a little less than 2 weeks, February 10th. It's a Tuesday night at 7 Eastern, and it's going to be about framing, lighting, and editing video on a Hollywood look for a shoestring budget for all your YouTube videos. I'm going to show you all the tricks to miking and framing and lighting and doing editing tricks and getting the best audio and all this for all your multiple YouTube videos that you should be making a lot of, and getting that out there. We always suggest you make a lot of YouTube videos, but sometimes people get a little hung up on the technical aspects, and really you don't need to make something huge and spectacular. But that's going to be my next class. It's an ongoing class that I have about YouTube marketing. It is part 3 of the series, but I got a few more parts after that. But on the 10th, I'm inviting a few people in just to get acquainted with my group, the Dream Alliance. So it's going to be it's not driving traffic to your websites with YouTube videos. That I already did that last Tuesday. It's going to be about editing and lighting on the 10th. So ignore that there, but it's a $25 value because it's about $75 a month for the group. And I will be giving another one away. I'm going to give away one right now and one right before the Q&A. So right now, I'd like to ask if anyone would like to join me on the 10th for the editing, lighting on a Hollywood, lighting and framing your YouTube videos on a Hollywood look on a shoestring budget. If you'd like to join me, just put heck yes, I want to come, or beg for it a little bit in the chat box. And I'd really like to have you there because I'm going to be giving away another spot at the end. You really enjoy this. There's a lot of great people. You meet a lot of great friends there, and it's just a fantastic opportunity. So I'm going to open up the chat box here and see who's begging the most. Paul says, heck yes. Shemaya's yelling and screaming. So Shemaya's going nuts over here. Okay, well, Shemaya, I'm gonna give it to you. So congratulations, Shemaya. I've already got your email because I already know you a little bit. And she's screaming, yes, yes, pick me. Yay, she won. Well, congratulate Shemaya. She's going to be coming on the 10th to the Dream Alliance, and we're going to have a great time. So thank you so much for that and sticking with me, and thank you for all the begging that went on because that was pretty impressive. The chat box kind of lit up like a firecracker there, so I was really impressed. Thank you for that. All right, well, I'll be giving out another seat to the Dream Alliance right at the end here, at the end of the presentation. Speaking of presentations, let's just pop right into this thing, and let's talk about autoresponders. Let me move this chat box out of the way a tiny bit so I can see my slides here. And again, thank you for being here tonight and learning about autoresponders, because this is an extremely important part of internet marketing, probably the most important thing that you can do in your marketing. And you being here tonight shows me that you're serious about your business, and people who are serious about their business want to change the world, and they want to make a lot of money doing it. So you're dedicated to your business, and I like that. So I appreciate you being here. A lot of people didn't want to come. A lot of people signed up and didn't show up live. So the ones here are very special people. So pat yourself on the back for that. What are email autoresponders? Well, very simply, they're automated messages that get sent out when someone signs up for a freebie on your opt-in on your website, whether it be a newsletter, or, it doesn't matter what your freebie is, but when someone opts in to your email list, most, if not all, email programs have an autoresponder capability, and instantly they can set off a series of email messages. They can go out as much as you want. It can go out immediately, just one, or you can have one that goes out immediately and then 2 days later, and then 5 days later, and 6 days later. You can have a whole series. You can have 6 or 10 or 15. One time I built an autoresponder series of 50 too, because I had one go out each week for a year, and it was called the gift box, and it was really cool. But I've just I've created a series that's most powerful and it's been tested. I'm not telling you that you need 52 autoresponders, so don't worry about that. But I will show you tonight exactly what you need. So that's what an autoresponder is. So it's sent out also when someone makes a purchase, and we really won't be, those are more simple. Those are usually a message that says, hey, thank you for buying my product. Here's an upsell to that product, or here's some complimentary training, or here's a video on how to use it more in depth. So they also can be triggered by a purchase, but those are a little bit more customer service type ones, and we're not really going to be discussing that aspect tonight. But they still can be sent out if someone makes a purchase on the product, and they're created by all sorts of email programs. Like I said, there's free apps. There's just literally dozens and dozens of these things, and most aren't better really than any others. There are some that I think are better than others. Obviously, GetResponse and Aweber are two that I think have the best look and have the most functionality to them. But if you already have a program, what we're going to talk about tonight is really the content. What do you say in it? Because everybody can set up an autoresponder, but what are we going to write? What do we do with them? What's the convincing copy that will drive people back to make a purchase? So whether you have GetResponse, whether you have one shopping cart, or iContact, Constant Contact, some kind of free program or app, you want to utilize the autoresponders that come with these programs. We're all about building a list, but autoresponders are that extra touch where you can make a lot more money. Obviously, they're triggered mainly, and the ones we'll be talking about tonight are triggered by an opt-in form, which you can see here. Simply an opt-in. They come in all shapes and sizes. You might have one, you might not have one, but opt-ins are how you build your email list. And you can see this is Lisa Sasevich, and you can see I signed up for hers, and I'll show you the autoresponder that came when I signed up for hers. So you can give away things on an opt-in. It can be colorful. You can give away a report, a video series, some kind of drip audio. You can give away MP3s. You want to give away a freebie to entice people to opt in. People really don't want to opt in these days as much as they used to, because they already have an inbox full of stuff that comes every day that they don't read. So the freebie is part of the enticement. And also the autoresponder that comes if it's interesting and it's high content and people like it, they will open that one up above and beyond your competition. And it's exactly what we're going to talk about tonight. An autoresponder can be text and graphics mixed. Your program should be able to do just written text, or even put a clickable photograph in, or even a clickable link back to the website, and that's very important. You can see I signed up for Brendan Bouchard opt-in, and he sent me this autoresponder that's basically text, a clickable link, like a clickable phrase, and of course that picture there, it says play, but it really doesn't play actually in the email, but you can click it and it'll take you, it takes you back to his website to watch a video series, which is really cool. And when it's mixed text and graphics together, I call it a hybrid. There's either a big template style or there's plain text, and Brendan uses both. Here's an example of just a plain text autoresponder. Has no graphics, it has no header, it doesn't have any kind of colors. It's just simple written text like a text file or a Word document, and you can just pop those in. These work fine as well. Or you can get really fancy and have what's called a template-based autoresponder, which is constructed a little bit in your autoresponder series, a little bit like a website, and actually looks like your website a little bit, and that's to keep up with a big branding statement. So Lisa likes to put a header, a similar header to what's on her website, so you get the whole branding experience. And there can be sidebars, there can be places where you can buy a product. It's just like you're on a website. So they're very cool, and I like templates, and I design a lot of those for my clients because they like to really push and preserve their brand image and kind of make as big a statement and a splash as possible in terms of being fancy, and having as much creativity and usability of the email. The more in it, you don't want to clutter it to death, but the more stuff that's in it, the more things and conversions take place, up to a certain degree. Now, I ran a series of 3 experiments, and this was last fall. And of course, I'm always experimenting. And number 1 was I simply picked up the phone and a couple emails, and I asked 10 of the top internet marketing experts in the world what their number 1 tool was for converting visitors into buyers. So when people came to these big guys' websites and signed up for their newsletters, what in the world did they use to actually make money? I mean, there's so much out there, so much information all the time. Facebook ads and pay-per-click and shopping cart automation and social media tools and content syndication and distribution. And I mean, there's so much stuff you're inundated with. Sometimes it's hard to make a choice as to what is the most powerful thing that you should work on in terms of getting people to buy something. So because I worked for Tom for 7 or 8 years, I actually met a lot of great people. And they actually respond to me, which is great, when I actually send them an email, which is surprising because sometimes you don't expect people to actually answer the email just because you wrote them. But lo and behold, I actually got in touch with quite a few people. Look at some of the big names on there. Brendan, I've met him personally a few times just when he was starting out. Tom and Lisa Sasevich. There's a couple big names in there. I see Frank Kern and a lot of great people. People that really make the big money, So I asked them, what was their number 1 tool for converting visitors to their website into paying customers? And all of them, every single one of them, shockingly to me at the time, said autoresponders. Because you see so much miracle products and miracle services, and they all said autoresponders, which sometimes isn't touted as a big tool. It's been around a long time, but it's not as fancy as some of the other stuff that people come out with. They could have said Facebook or YouTube. They could have said LinkedIn. They could have said all the mobile apps and texting technology. They could have used pop-up, exit pop-ups and entry pop-ups. They could have had all the shopping cart upsells, ad tracking, ad splitting and testing. They could have said article marketing or pay-per-click or anything. I mean, 1,000 other things, but they said autoresponders. And actually sales letters and copywriting came in second, which was another surprise, because sales letters and writing good copy is what compels people to actually make a purchase. And what's funny is that autoresponders are writing. It's about good copywriting, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight. What do you write in an autoresponder to get people to want to click out? How do you emotionally get people to pull those triggers? So sales letters, all about copywriting, and autoresponders all are in what I call a trifecta of emotional, stealthy copywriting persuasion. And autoresponders are the automated part of this, very fancy. Experiment number 2, I signed up for 30 different freebies, opt-ins. Not all those big names we just talked about, but just some random stuff. I would put in a keyword in Google and search for, say, like dog grooming. I come to this #1 site on dog grooming, and of course there was, hey, download your dog grooming ebook and join the mailing list. So I did that on 30 different ones. I signed up for freebies. I signed up for e-courses. I signed up for certain newsletters. I signed up for some really cool videos. I signed up for special offers and discounts, some live and virtual seminars, all sorts of cool stuff that I got for free. But here's the problem. Out of 30 of those, 22 of those had no autoresponders at all. All I got was a free gift. Okay, thank you for the free gift. And then after that, nothing. No newsletter, no email marketing, no continuous marketing messages. Okay. That was kind of shocking for some of these #1 sites that were actually doing quite well in the searches. And experiment number 3 was, out of the remaining 8 that I did get an autoresponder from, all of them were either too short or too long. 4 of those 8 had no links or a clickable link back to the website. They were basically just information, and they were just kind of talking about their brand or their business and how great they were, but it didn't send me back to the website. So I had no idea even what website I had originally been on, and they didn't even tell me to go back and visit. Out of the remaining 4 that did send me back to the website, 2 of those, the links were broken. Out of the other 3 of those out of the 8 were kind of boring. They weren't the template ones. They had no headers. They had no graphics or any kind of branding. And only 4 out of those 8 offered me real solutions that I was searching for, that answered the problems or addressed the problems and pain I was feeling and tried to help me. The others 4 were just salesy. They were just people talking about how great they were, people talking about themselves and not really too concerned with what I was going through, or even tried to offer any kind of help or solution or even a product that would help move me out of my position and move me forward in my business. So it was really quite shocking when it came to the autoresponders and what came of all this. So I designed an autoresponder series myself, and they're based on a few things that an autoresponder, what I think marketing or internet marketing should do. An autoresponder, first and foremost, should drive people back to the website. Now, the National Retail Federation came out last year, and they said an online prospect, someone who signs up for a newsletter or makes contact with you through the website, needs to be touched an average of 7 times before they make a purchase. That means they need 7 marketing messages, some kind of promotions, a newsletter, something where you're reaching out and saying, here's my brand, I know what you're feeling, here's a solution to your problem, and here's something that I want to either sell you or give you as a resource, some kind of touch. And that's extremely important, and that's been highly tested by the National Retail Federation. An autoresponder should also educate your prospect, and here's why. After 27 years of selling jewelry, I found that when I educated my consumer about the jewelry and the stones and how they were made and how they were mined and how they got to the store and all this romantic stuff about the history of cut and the history of the markets. When I educated them and romanced them into understanding my product, it led to them paying higher prices for them. When the consumer doesn't know about the product or doesn't care about the product or understand the value, they want it for as cheap as they can get it. And that's not what we're all here to do. We're not here to sell cheap products. We're not Walmart, okay? Each one of us here on this webinar tonight are experts that literally have life-changing information that can help people better their lives or even change the world if we're lucky to go that far with it. Okay, that's great. But if you don't educate your prospect as to why your information really works and how it can change their life, they won't care and they won't pay a premium. Autoresponders are part of that education process. They also can offer special rewards and community rewards, just like if I sign up for a Red Robin autoresponder or an opt-in and get on their mailing list, well, I get free coupons and I get all sorts of discounts because I'm a member of the community. And autoresponders can deliver that kind of information. They also drive people back to your social media. And why is that important? Well, because not everyone's going to stay on an email list forever or keep opening up your emails. Eventually, no matter how great your emails are, a few months or so down the road, they'll tend to have signed up for new stuff and may not open up as much of your stuff in the future, or they could just simply unsubscribe. When you move them to your social media, they tend to stay longer and actually have a real conversation with other people and yourself. It's a more dynamic experience. So sometimes you do want to make sure you're building your social media community and make sure that you're doubling the size of your list. You'll have an email list and you'll also have a social media following. They're both very important and they're both different and dynamic in their own right. An autoresponder should also, like I said a minute ago, identify the pain that you know they're having, and you should offer real solutions and real events that can change the way they do business, change their life, whatever, and those should be part of your autoresponders. How do you do that? Well, you can offer free consultations. You can invite people to webinars like I did tonight for everyone here. You can invite people to teleclasses, workshops, powwows, get-togethers, seminars, group coaching, live and virtual events, whatever you can do to corral people into a one-on-one or one-to-group situation where you have live people, such as we're doing tonight, where I'm talking to you and everyone here's live and listening. That way you can start to sell them solutions to problems, products, offer resources, all these kinds of things. An autoresponder can do that as well. And all of this is completely automated. So what I did is I created a 10-part autoresponder series. It goes out over about 30 to 40 days. So basically it's about every 3 days or so. You don't want to send an email twice a day and you don't want to send one every 14 days. It's just not enough for them to keep your brand top of mind. So they need to be aware of who you are and you need to educate them and you want them to keep opening those emails. So you want to strike while the iron's hot because after about 30 or 40 days, that person's either bought something else already, bought something from you, or just moved on altogether. So you want to hit while the pain is in their mind and you want to make sure that you launch these things with intent. So you also want to offer as much goodwill and rewards as possible. So the more you help them, the more they love you. And the more you help them, and they know that your autoresponders and your email messages contain real wisdom and things that they can use right now to better their life or move forward, that gives them a reason to keep opening them, which is very important later down the road when you start sending out your regular newsletters every couple of weeks. Part of the big reason people don't open up newsletters is because the initial email messages that they got for signing up onto someone's newsletter weren't very good or they were non-existent. So you can move a reader, and this is really cool, you can even move a reader from one autoresponder to another series if they click on the link inside of one of the email messages. And this is called automation. So in a lot of programs like Aweber and GetResponse, there's automation. And if you're selling something in an autoresponder and they actually click on the link and buy, let's say, an ebook, for instance, out of one of the autoresponder links, well, you don't want to keep sending them deals and discounts for products. You can actually move them to their own separate list of customers now. They went from prospect to customer. And that triggers an entirely new set of autoresponders that can do things like upsell complementary products where you make more money. These are all very little, really cool tricks that are part of email programs that are also part of the autoresponder series. So you're not just talking about one autoresponder series. You can actually move people from one to another with an entirely different set of intention. So it's very cool. These are all little tricks that you can learn about in your email programs, and you can get your email provider to help you use automation rules, is what they're called. So I've created a whole bunch of different kinds of autoresponders over the years. Trust me, I talked about the one where I had 52 of them, one go out every week. I've used text, I've used template. I've personalized them with the little, hey, Frank, nice to see you, kind of you included their name. I've made long ones that rambled on. I've made short ones that had like one paragraph. I've had where I sent out 3 in one day, or one every day for 3 days, called the quick 3-day punch. I've branded them. I put quotes and inspirational messages. I have done it all. I have created probably 1,000 different autoresponders, testing them all out to see which ones work the best. But the series I'm about to reveal to you right now has been tested to have the highest customer sales and return to the website rate that I've ever done. So let's get right into it. All right, I told everybody that you can be like Bicky in the beginning and drinking the wine, but don't drink too much. But I would grab a cold glass of beverage and a nice sharp pencil. Of course, you don't have to take notes, because you can I'll send the recording and the slides to this, so you can just use this as a reference. But if you want to take notes, I would sharpen that pencil. Here's your first autoresponder. I'm going to show you the start of the 10 that I use that have the highest conversion. And if you have any questions out there, pop them in. I'll have a Q&A at the end, but if you have something really itching, you're dying to ask, go ahead and pop it in the chat box. I would love to hear from you. I will stop periodically and check for questions if anybody has one. But obviously the first one, it's called day 0, which means 0 means it goes out immediately. Within just a few minutes of them signing up, they get their first autoresponder. And what does that do? It delivers the freebie. And you might have delivered the freebie on the thank you page or some other way of delivering it, but you want to offer a link to it again in the email, just in case people don't remember how to get back to that web page, or they lose the file, so it acts as a backup. You also want to let them know how often you'll be sending emails and that they've been added to a newsletter. It's a great place to provide a testimonial from one of your satisfied clients. So you want to keep the branding and marketing going even in your very first autoresponder. And the big one is you want to link back to your website to a service or a product or a resource that helps them get more information. And that's very important, because you're offering it as like a bonus freebie. And that kind of goodwill makes people fall in love with you and want to buy from you in the future. So take a look at this. This is an example that I put out there for a client of mine. This is Barbara Allison with 123 Kindergarten. And this is really quickly the first autoresponder I created for her. So check it out. This is what I wrote. As promised, here's your free kindergarten checklist. And there's a nice link to it. So instantly they get the freebie and a link to the product all over again right in the first autoresponder, so that they always have this in their inbox, a link to the product. You always want to make sure they have access to the freebie, because the freebie has links in it that help sell more of your products. I also said in this, included with your checklist, please allow me to send you my informative newsletter. And be sure to whitelist or add me to the contact list. You want to remind people to allow your emails or to whitelist them or whatever they got to do, so that your autoresponders and newsletters always come through. And I wrote very quickly, I promise that my emails will be informative, fun, and full of the latest tips. You want to give it a little bit of what you'll be sending in your newsletters in the future and what kind of things that they'll be able to learn. So you're kind of teasing and enticing them to want to open up the rest of the autoresponders. And then in this section, I very quickly went right to a testimonial. I put in a great testimonial for her from one of her satisfied clients to help kind of have a 1-2 punch of marketing right there while people are reading this. And then I put my contact information to make sure that they can email me or call me or whatever it is that I want them to do to help increase my relationship or my conversion. And then here's the kicker, I added another freebie. So I wrote, for choosing to be a part of this community of dedicated parents, allow me to present another complimentary PDF. And I let them have another freebie. And they didn't know it was coming as a total bonus. So it was kind of a shock, but they're really happy about that. And what they're thinking in their mind is, wow, this person is over-delivering. You know, they gave away one freebie, and they're giving me another, and they didn't even gloat about that. So this woman's very cool. You know, I love this. Well, it's a little self-serving because each one of these PDFs are chock full of branding and links to products and other things that help build the business and make money. So when I'm not just giving away a PDF for the sake of a free gift, the PDF helps convert and sell other products. So as many files, videos, MP3s, PDFs that you can give away, the more money you're going to make. Let's look at the next autoresponder that goes out 2 days later or 3 days later, right around day 3. And this is what I call results in advance. And this is a very critical part of your building goodwill with people. In this next autoresponder, the second one, you want to identify one major problem they're having and spell out the solution. No teasers. I always see teasers where they identify a problem and they go, well, hey, buy the ebook and you'll find the answers. No, give people the answer. And when you do that, they'll fall in love with you. The reason is that if they know that your advice or your training really works and they've even solved a little problem they're having and have been able to move forward before they've even invested money with you, they'll tend to invest far more money than if you just tease them into $10 here and $40 there. If you give away a lot of great information, they will pay for the whole kit and caboodle, and they'll pay for hand-holding personal coaching at higher rates if you just go ahead and help people solve problems and you don't hold back. So I identify a major problem, and then I spell out the solution, and then right at the end, after I've told them exactly what they need to do, I tell them this. Would implementing this solution change the way you would? And then just fill in the blank. So I ask them, would implementing this solution make a difference to your life or your business? And then I have a link that's clickable that says, would you like me to help you implement it? And when they click on it, it can be to a book or a product or a coaching or a group coaching or a retreat, whatever it is that you think that they would like to purchase to move forward. So this is a subtle way to sell to them, and you're offering the pitch as help moving forward. You just help them move forward. How would you like me to move you all the way forward, or to finish and help you all the way? So you want to link back already to a product after your results in advance copy. And clickable link always take people back to the website. Every autoresponder should have a link back to the website. You have to get people back to the website. Just repeat that over and over to yourself when you're writing autoresponders. You want repeat visitors. You're not trying to do all your business or contain people in an email. You want them to go back to the website, because that's where the heart of your branding, your videos and your products and your services and your testimonials, that's where the heart of your brand lives, and you got to get people back to it. Here's another email about results in advance that I wrote for Barbara Allison, the same 1-2-3 kindergarten lady. And here it starts out with this. We're talking about how toys can determine a child's future and their choice of toys. So child's imaginative play is more fun, and learning and kindergarten readiness may actually be giving us glimpses of what kids will choose to do as an adult. So she says, I recently published blog posts, and there's a link back to the blog post, that were inspired by some of famous adults and what they played with as children. So what she's doing here is outlining how to recognize what choices your child may make as an adult by the toys they choose today. So we're outlining an issue here, and she's actually giving you the answer to solve it. And she says they will treat their dolls and friends and brothers and sisters the same way as they do their toys. This type of play is a way for kids to process their experiences and their emotions. So she's given you a clue that would normally be in her coaching or even in her book, but she's telling you straight up how to identify and how to nurture your children to make the best choices. And then she says, what toys are you playing with? Can you recognize through their play what decisions they'll be making when they get older? I can show you how to get the most out of your children's development using common activities and household items. And she says, identifying the proper toys your child plays with can influence their future. And then there's a link. May I help you with that? And of course I want you to help me with that. You just gave me some really great information, Barbara. What else are you trying to help me with? And I'll click on the link, and it can be a group coaching, a webinar, a book, whatever. But that's got the rest of the answers. So you can craft something here that is very inspirational and curiosity building. It makes people want to know what else can they buy, purchase, or get for free from you that will help move them forward just like this. On day 7, I call this the car wreck. This goes out 3 or 4 days later. So each autoresponder, now this is the third one, they're getting it on day 7, approximately 3 or 4 days after the last one. And this is really good. You want to identify someone who failed miserably at reaching their goal. And then you want to step up and identify how you could have helped that person. And you want to offer the step-by-step technique or solution that you would have offered that person that would have fixed it. And if you've just started in your business and you don't even have a success story, you can literally make one up and use a fictional situation. It's okay, because your expertise really works. Not all of us have success stories, but at this point, you need to start talking about your success stories. If you have a real one, then obviously that works better. And then I put a simple link at the bottom. Don't make the same mistakes in your business or your life or whatever. And that is what's called the car wreck. Why do I call it the car wreck? Because we're all driving down the interstate. We all kind of rebel, or we like to rubberneck when bad things happen to people. So you can actually use a situation where something really terrible happened because someone didn't use your advice. And you can actually use that, and people kind of perk up and pay attention to it. They want to know what someone did to screw up. But what they don't see coming is you explaining how you would have fixed it, which is basically touting your expertise. So let's take a look at what I wrote here. And this one, again, is for Barbara from 1-2-3 Kindergarten. And listen to this, how this starts out. Reading to your child is more important than just having fun or getting a child ready for development. It could actually steer them away from prison. Sound crazy? A report released in 2013 by a reputable network found that there was a direct connection between education and life outcomes. They studied certain poverty areas and discovered when a child enters kindergarten with a vocabulary of 4,000 words, that child cannot compete with kids across town in the better or more affluent section that have a vocabulary of 30,000 words at the same stage. Poverty and readiness undermines these kids before they get started. So what we've done is we've identified a car wreck. Children who aren't ready for kindergarten because they don't read enough. That reading has a direct correlation to how many people, how well they do in school, how ready they are for school, and whether they drop out of school and end up in prison. Reading is all about that. And she offers a solution along with reading, talking, telling stories, listening to stories and songs. She says, put all that together into what's called a language bath and surround your child in stories, songs, reading, experience so that their vocabulary grows. Because it's massively important to get your child ready for school and avoid what's been proven low vocabulary can lead to children going to prison when they're adults. And then I wrote all this for her. So this is all copy here. And look at this clickable link. I said, don't let them become a statistic. That means your child. Well, I don't want my child to be a statistic. So I click on the link, goes back to the website, and there's either a book or a webinar, a teleclass, an audio, a CD, whatever you're selling. So you're driving people back almost in a panic situation to get something else from you or make a purchase. Let me look at a question here that Sheila's got. Sheila says, not to an opt-in page without sidebars and other link for the book or whatever, rather to a full website page. Oh, where we're linking back to. Yeah, it doesn't really matter where we're linking back to or what kind of page it is. It depends on what you have available. Now, I wouldn't link to the home page. These are not actual links back to home pages. What they are is they're links to, say, a product or sales letter or a resource or another freebie, or it could be an invitation to a live event or a group event. It can be group coach. It could be anything that you're offering, Sheila. So, but you want to link back to something specific that relates to what the content we're talking about here. So obviously, if we're talking about helping children increase their vocabulary, we want to link back to a book or a product or an audio or something, some kind of training that is fairly related to that, and not just back to a home page, because a home page has just got it's just full of confusing links. So we want to specifically zero in on something that can help move them forward. If it's a product that's directly related to this, they're obviously going to buy it. So this is how you start making money with this. She also says, yes, and you say get them to a site. So is it a full site type page with other links in it and sidebars? Yeah, that's fine. It can just be a regular part of your template, but it should go to a specific like product in your store or an invitation right there. If you want to increase the highest conversion, and I understand what you're getting at, Sheila, if you really want to increase the most conversion, you could send them right to a sales letter that doesn't have all the sidebar links and stuff on it. And typically I would do that more often than not. But if you don't have all that set up, just write to a store page on your store is totally fine. That was a great question, and I appreciate that, Sheila. Thank you so much. Let's look at autoresponder number 4. Well, I take a drink here. And autoresponder 4 will go out 3 days later after the last one, and it'll go out 10 days on day 10. And you set all this up ahead of time in these autoresponders. You create your series ahead of time so that it's all automated. All these things, educating these people, driving traffic, selling them products, all this is on automatic. So you could literally be sitting at the beach, and when someone opts in, this is automatically going to go out. You're not sending these out like newsletters. They're automated. That's why they're called autoresponders. Okay, so just wanted to make that clear. Day 10, autoresponder number 4, it's called the reward. You want to identify a service most beneficial to the client, something that you know that they would really need to purchase, a service, a book, whatever it is you have to offer. And you want to explain it. Don't want to be pitchy and just sell it to them. You want to explain something to them first. You want to say, you want to reward them for being a part of your community and offer them a discount for it. So at this point, you can supply a secret coupon code or a link to a hidden page or whatever that the rest of the general public can't see. And you want to, it's time to reward people for being on your list with discounts to products, just like any restaurant would do when you opt in. And then offer a special price just if they buy right now. So this is where you're offering the rewards part of being in the community, and you're trying to go for the kill here, the jugular, and trying to make the sale. So offer a discount, and people like that. People want to know they're being treated special because they're on your list. This is also the kind of stuff that will get them to keep opening newsletters and the other autoresponders, because they know that they're going to get some freebie or a discount or a goodie or a reward. That's why people want to keep opening stuff. If you're never rewarding for opening them up, then they may stop doing it. Terry says, this is great stuff. Will there be slides available? Yes, I'll be mailing the slides to this in the morning, so you can actually use this as a checklist. Let's take a look. And obviously we're back to Barbara Allison's 1, 2, 3 kindergarten, and her autoresponder, number 4, says, hope you've been enjoying the tips and activities that I've discovered that help your child with early brain development and kindergarten readiness. Please allow me to reward you for your time and dedication to your child's readiness with my best-selling book, 1, 2, 3 Kindergarten, Everything Your Child Needs to Learn Before Kindergarten. Now, it's available on Amazon in paperback, obviously, but I've got a digital ebook on my site, and it's just $7.99 if you use the coupon code, which any major shopping cart or PayPal or anything else can do. So, and she says, check this out. Shh, don't tell anyone. This is an exclusive community-only reward. It's not available to the general public. And how can I offer this for such a great price? It's easy, because I can. It's my mission in life to help all children have the tools they need for success. It's another time to pitch your expertise and reassure your reader that they're in the right place doing business with the right person. Okay? And then here's the coupon code that they can use when they click on this link. That takes them back to a shopping cart page or back to the website. So now, again, you keep driving traffic from the autoresponder back to the website. Remember, that's the main goal. But each one's different, not just to the home page. That's a huge mistake. Each autoresponder has a link to something very specific, a product or an invitation to a group coaching or an event, whatever it is that you want. But you got to drive people back to a specific product or service or event. And even on this one, it's to a hidden page or to a shopping cart where they can get a discount as a reward. Now, the next one goes out 4 days later. This is Autoresponder 5 on day 14. We're halfway through the month almost here. And this is basically building your brand and your celebrity status. Now, each one of us are celebrities in our field. We just don't tout it, and we just don't know it, and we just don't put it out there enough. But Tom told me a long time ago that if you want to raise your fee, your standard fee, above the industry standard, you have to become a celebrity. Celebrity is the only way to get more money for what you do above all the other people in your field that aren't celebrities. They're just people sitting in offices and whatnot. So you want to start building your celebrity status in an autoresponder. You should be doing that all the time anyway, but an autoresponder number 5 is the great place to do it. And so you want to write about your business. You want to talk about where you've been and what kind of reach you've had. You want to tout interviews or radio, whether you've been on TV, whether you've been published in Huffington Post, whatever, what kind of press releases. You want to tell the world how great you are and make it look like that you're the greatest thing since sliced bread in your industry. Because the more your community understands that you're a celebrity expert or someone who is sought after and interviewed, the more money they're going to be willing to spend on your services. If they don't want, people want to work with celebrities. They really do. And that's been proven. We're all hardwired to want to work with someone who's kind of got a name for themselves. It makes us feel special. The more you can do that and the more you feel comfortable with it, the more money you're going to make. So you can actually put a YouTube video, that's what I'd like to do, right in a link to the video right in the autoresponder itself. And you also want to link back to your website if there's an audio or any kind of interview or press release. Now, here's the thing. When people are interviewed, such as ABC News, or they were interviewed on some kind of site, a lot of people link to that site. And you don't want to do that. You still want to keep linking to your own site. So you have to get the file, the video, the interview, or whatever, and put it on your site. Probably in the page, like a media page or something like that. And create a media page for yourself with all the interviews and downloads and that people can listen to, and link to that. Don't ever link to someone else's site. They don't need the traffic. You need the traffic. So don't send your customers away to another site. Always link to yours. Now, if the only exception to that is if it's like PR web or some gigantic press release, then it's okay to link to that, because press releases have chock full of links that go right back to your website. So you're getting people to kind of circle around back to the website anyway. So let's take a look at an example that I wrote. And this is, again, Barbara Allison, 123 Kindergarten. And I wrote, "This is exciting. I was recently interviewed about my book, 123 Kindergarten, by this person at presentparenttraining.com, and I want to share it with you." And I put the YouTube link that you can watch or click right to the YouTube link. Well, why did I do that? Why did I put the link to a YouTube video in an autoresponder? Well, I'll show you in just a minute, but you can see that I did double duty here. Not only did I show an interview, a YouTube interview, which makes Barbara look like an expert or celebrity in her field, I also said, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can watch all my other videos. This is part of the driving people over to social media aspect. And you can send people to Facebook, and you can send them to Twitter. You want them to be a part of your social media community. And if you have a YouTube channel and it's working for you, you want to get people to subscribe to your YouTube channel, because there's another place where they're just going to get more information from you and your brand. As you release new videos, they'll be notified. And so it's building a community on two levels here. So why did I put the YouTube link just like this link to a video? Because in most email programs, the video will actually play right in the inbox on YouTube. Look at this. This is an exact email that I sent out about an interview for these people. And you can see here, this is a screenshot from Gmail, and it also works in Outlook and everything else, or Yahoo, or any of the big email programs. Anytime you put the link to a YouTube video in an email, you can watch the video right in the email. It actually doesn't go out to YouTube. They can watch it. And all your people that watch the video in the email, it counts as a YouTube view. So you're building views on your YouTube videos as you're sending and emailing out videos to people. That's why I want to put that link on there. So they can actually watch a video right in their Gmail inbox or any other program that they're using. All right. I'm glad everybody was here. Now, I could have gone with these all night. I could have kept talking. If anybody knows me, you know how long-winded I am, and I know it's getting late. It's like 5 till already. And I could have went on all night with these. But, of course, it's getting past my bedtime, but not really. It's getting past Vicky's bedtime, and I got to go tuck her in because she's an early bird. But I want to quickly go over the other 5 autoresponders that I won't really have time tonight to get into the depth that I did the first 5, but I want to show you what other ones there are so that you can use these as a template to write your own. Autoresponder 6, on day 18, I call that the survey. And you want to send your prospects a survey or a questionnaire that they can fill out so that you can get to know them better. And people like to give their 2 cents worth, and that can redirect to a freebie or a product or something like that as well. You can use 123 Contact Form or SurveyMonkey or whatever it is your favorite survey is, and start asking your community their opinion on things. You can also use that to data mine information about what they want and create new products for it. Very cool. 4 days later, autoresponder number 7 is day 22. It's called the pulse of the industry. And you want to go out and research all the hot news topics and all the things in your industry that backs up all the claims you make and the expertise that you're touting. Every one of us has a unique perspective on what we're teaching or trying to coach our prospects on. But there's also big news names out there like New England Journal of Medicine and USA Today and Wall Street Journal that have news items that basically, in a gigantic popular sense, back up what we're trying to say here. So, and if you can discover that, you want to put that information in an autoresponder because it helps validate our coaching and our techniques, and use third-party references called the pulse of the industry to help back up your claims and convince people that you really do know what you're talking about. Autoresponder number 8 is day 26 goes out, and this is social media, and you want to concentrate again on turning as many email prospects or people in your community into fans and followers over on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Pinterest, whatever your favorite social media sites are. You've got to get people over there and start building community. And I would even suggest making offers, like when someone friends you on Facebook, they have a special offer just for followers. Or you can build a private group on Facebook. You can give away coupons and contests. You can try to get viral sharing going. You can even start up debates and people can ask you questions. That's far more dynamic than your newsletter is ever going to do. So you really want to concentrate on that. And then autoresponder number 10, which goes out on day 30, is just more results in advance. You want to keep plowing out that goodwill. You want to identify all the pain and problems your prospect is having at this point and the conflict that they're having, and turn them into constructive resolutions that is basically brand awareness for you. Because if they know that you're helping them, they know that your brand and your expertise and your coaching really works. And the more love you give out and the more you help them, the more love they have for you and the more money they're going to spend. And you become the go-to expert in your industry. And now I've added a bonus here, autoresponder 11. So right around after you've done all this, and if they still haven't bought anything or they're still kind of hemming and hawing about all this, it's time to just put the knife into the heart here and do the trial offers. You want to start corralling people, and this is extremely important. You want to corral people in your community, people who are sitting on the fence that basically haven't taken action yet, and you want to get them into a one-on-one consultation, some kind of engagement, a powwow, a webinar or a teleclass where you can get people together and answer their questions and really go for the kill here and sell them your big products, get them moving along and into the system where them buying, say, an $80 or $100 product actually kicks off a whole series of upsells on the back end that lead to even $10,000 coaching and retreat packages. But you have to get them to buy something. So you need to get them any kind of trial offer or any kind of discount or anything you can to get them into the system and buying one of your products. At that 30-day or past 30 days, it becomes critical that you make that kill. And when you do that, now you've moved from prospect to customer, and that customer, the sky's the limit. You can basically, when they spend a little bit, they'll spend just about anything. And you can move them through a sales funnel into huge amounts of products and services. So I've got a Q&A coming up at the end. Also, I want to give out another prize to my Dream Alliance. But let me share this with you really quick. And you might know this, you might not, but you have about 7 seconds for your email to live. All right, what do I mean by that? Well, it's been tested that when someone reads an email, you have to capture their attention in about the first 7 seconds, or they're just going to get bored with it and they're going to leave. How is that helping your business at all? Within that 7 seconds, you have to alert them that you're going to give them real solutions that solve problems. You have to allude to gaining trust and credibility, the two major things that are very hard to do online because you're not there shaking their hand and talking to them face to face. You also want to get people to open all of your other emails. These series of autoresponders that we talked about tonight, they only go on for 30 days. After that, you've got years and years of newsletters to send these people, and you want them to open them. Otherwise, you'll not be able to sell them anything. Email marketing is huge, but if no one's opening your emails, you can't sell them anything. I have open rates as high as 47%, which is over 2 or 3 times the industry standard in internet marketing. And it's not because I'm fooling them, not because the subject line's magic, not because it magically opens whether they want it to or not. They actually enjoy what I send. And it starts with the very first series of autoresponders. So you have to make them want your products and services more than anything. So I want to ask you this question. Do your emails and your newsletters and your autoresponders, do they do all of that? Do they make and create that kind of excitement in your reader? Because if they don't, you're losing a lot of money basically to your competition who has this nailed down. Also, there's direct mail, ads, pay-per-click, all sorts of search engine results. A lot of the things that most of us here aren't involved in that our competition are using to make money. I don't want you to worry too much about that because I have a solution. I want to give it to you right now. It's Colin's Little Black Book of Autoresponders. Now, you've already seen the first 5, but this Little Black Book of Autoresponders takes all 10 of these autoresponders and breaks them into these 8-minute videos each that walk you through the entire process of writing these exact series for yourself. There are also 10 email templates that you can use, just like I did with Barbara here from 1, 2, 3 Kindergarten, that basically plug and play, where you can just add your business name to these things and pretty much use the same formula that I've used here with the ones I've showed you. I've also got swipe files, which are emails and autoresponders from all the big name people that I talked about in the beginning of the webinar. Most of us delete a lot of that or can't find a lot of the autoresponders we've gotten, the good ones. I saved a lot of them because I thought they were cool. Plus, I learned a lot from them, and I'm going to share them with you. I also have a Creating Powerful Email Content, a whole workshop on, it's a recorded workshop about writing killer newsletters. I have a couple of videos here, opt-in strategies that convert like crazy, a special class that I did last year, and also how to sell small priced items that lead to high ticket, high-priced products and services that recur every month. Now, that's a long title to a very actually short video, but it shows you how I made thousands and tens of thousands of dollars from a 99-cent ebook. So it's pretty cool, all in about 12 minutes. The video, not 12 minutes, literally. And also, if you want to be a part of the community of the Little Black Book of Autoresponders, I will actually critique all the autoresponders that you write yourself before you send them out so that they're absolutely spot on and that they're something that I know that you'll be proud of and that will actually work. If you want to join me in the Little Black Book of Autoresponders, you can get all of that stuff, all the 10 templates, all the 10 walkthrough videos, all the added bonus videos and the swipe files, and have me critique all your autoresponders after you've given it your shot at writing these things based on the templates, all for $47. Okay, that's a super duper cheap price. That's over at expertwebwriting.com/email, 47 bucks. expertwebwriting.com/email, and you'll get instantly all the bonuses, all the walkthrough videos, so you can literally be crafting all these autoresponders that really work for your business. And you can do them over and over and over for numerous opt-ins over and over again, all by this weekend, even before the Super Bowl starts. Go Pats. All right. So I want to quickly say that my mission for 2015, you might be familiar with this if you know me well, but the internet should be a place, should be used for accurate and relevant information. I want to, I'm sick of the hype. I'm really, 2014 wore me out in terms of people just selling God knows what, making overblown promises. It wears me out. And a lot of this stuff works and a lot of it doesn't. And I'm on a mission to create what I call the no bullshit zone, to be honest with you. And I really don't want to teach anybody anything that I haven't used myself to actually make money. Okay. And I'm not going to sell or promote anything. I have no clue what the hell it does. Okay. So, that's my mission. I want to quit talking about ourselves so much, and we want to focus on the customer's needs, because the customer says this: it's all about me. I don't really care about you, not yet, but when you care about others, it helps them fall in love with you. And it's a give and take here on a relationship, and it's very important. And in that regard, helping people, I want that to take center stage. Your site, your business, your emails, your newsletters, your products and services should be about helping people first. And when it does, you'll be financially rewarded. Okay. Now, I want to give away that prize. I don't see anybody begging here yet, but if you want to get in, I got one more spot to the Dream Alliance on February 10th. And yeah, here we go. Here comes all the begging. I want to give away that grand prize. You know what? I already gave the first one to Shemaya. Congratulations, Shemaya. But I'm going to pick 2 people this time, because I want more people on this YouTube thing. Remember, it's the how to edit light frame a Hollywood style production for absolute shoestring budget on YouTube for all your YouTube videos. What's going on here? Shemaya's begging. No, she isn't. She said, thanks again. Okay, cool. She says, Shemaya says, you rock. Great webinar. Thank you. Barbara Alice says her fingers are crossed. Laura Walker, I need this. Please. You know what? That sounded very legitimate there, Laura. So Laura Walker is got 1 seat. I got 1 left. What's going on out there? Who's out there? Who's out there? Yep. Thank you, Laura. You won. Congratulations. Terry Ward. Terry Ward. She said, touche to the no bullshit zone. Absolutely. Thank you. And she's also says, I'm begging you, please pick me, pick me. And Barbara's crossing her toes and her fingers. That's quite the feat there. Oh, let's see. I'm going to pick Terry. Terry, you attend a lot of these things. You hardly ever win. Terry Ward, Laura Walker, and Shemaya. I have all your email addresses. I'll be sending you the registration link to February 10th here next week. And I expect to see you there at the Dream Alliance. Congratulations, everybody. Let's take some questions now for a Q&A. Remember, if you want all the stuff I just talked about and you want me to critique and help you create all that killer autoresponder series, remember, when you write autoresponders, you do the series once and you never have to touch it again. Literally a year later, people are opting in. Here, let me give you this quick scenario. I used it the other night on the Dream Alliance. You have a YouTube video, and all of a sudden, it's really cool, and all of a sudden, it's taken off. It's got 100,000 views, and you don't know why, but for some reason, just one of those YouTube videos you put out there, all of a sudden, everybody went crazy, and it's got 100,000 views. And that YouTube video tells people to go over to your website and sign up for a free ebook. And let's say you got 600 people a month because of this thing going over there and signing up for just free ebook on your site. Very simple. And you're kicking off a series of autoresponders this powerful that actually send them back to make purchases, all while you're sitting at the beach. Now, I don't want to be one of these kind of internet marketing people that say, hey, you can make money sitting at the beach. But literally, if you had a video sending that many people to an opt-in and you had these 10 autoresponders in place, how would you stop people from coming? You would actually have to go into YouTube and turn the video off and take it down so no one could ever see it again. You wouldn't be able to stop people coming and signing up and buying things if you tried. And you could literally be in the woods like I was for two and a half months. I went into the wilderness and all these things were working for me. And I kept coming back to the library every couple of weeks in wherever I was. And I had this giant beard and I hadn't taken a bath in like 3 weeks. And I kept checking my email and I had sales. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. So this stuff really works, man. I'm telling you. So if you want to do that, expertwebwriting.com/email. Very simple. All $47. I hate to see it. I'd love to see you there. I'm hoping that you'll join me. I got plenty of room and time for all that. 2015 just started, so I would suggest doing it right. Couple questions here. Let's see. I see Terry says, Frank says, what if you're not a consultant needing to brand yourself, but you sell products in an online e-commerce store? It's the same thing. Autoresponders, they're basically the same way. Now, obviously the template for you is not going to be exactly the same because we're basically building brand here with this example, because mainly my list or my community are coaches and consultants, but you still want to use autoresponders in certain ways, especially like driving people back to your social media. That's very important that you keep your community alive in a retail sense, because once you sell somebody one thing, Frank, you want to keep selling them other things. And part of that whole, well, it costs so much to get the first customer and then the next sale is so much easier. That's not easier if you can't keep people corralled together. So you can use autoresponders to offer periodic discounts. You may want to spread yours out over a longer period of time, like even maybe 6 months. Still, it would almost be like promotional newsletters for your products, but they're not going out so quickly. The reason I had 30 days or 30 or 40 days is because I'm approaching people with certain problems that need to be solved. And that's the take I was coming from. Obviously with retail, you want to design these a little bit differently, and they need to be what they say needs to be a little bit different. They need to be more promotional. They need to be more community building, and they need to be spread out in a longer area. You might even want to do 20 over like a 4 or 5 month period. You might want to talk about how someone who bought something should be buying things for other people as gifts and things like that. So there's still an autoresponder style promotion even with retail, because I get it from hamburger places and shoe stores and stuff all the time. So literally I can help you with that as well. That's a great question though. Thank you. Not everyone's a consultant. Terry also said, if something in mainstream media contradicts what you're trying to teach, would you use that and point out the issues? Only if you can win the argument. Okay. So if something's contradicting you, if you don't think, I point out people that are contradicting me, but I've got a retort and I can win the conversation. Not every internet marketer out there believes in what I do, obviously. And sometimes I want to pinpoint people who have the opposite opinion. And the way I battle or debate that actually helps me win converts. Sometimes I like to point out what I think people are doing wrong. So there's a couple different aspects. Great question on that, Terry. Terry also says mainstream is always reporting headlines about studies that aren't even what the reference study concluded, but it gets attention. Example, when they reported fish oil wasn't effective and the study didn't even say that. Yeah, there's all sorts of people trying to lead your prospects down the wrong path. But if you can't do a whole lot to change the world on that aspect, Terry, but you can get your community become not just prospects, not just customers, but raving fans. Raving fans are built by constantly reiterating your unique perspective on whatever it is that you're coaching, and you're trying to build a following, almost like a religious following in nature, of people that absolutely will not go anywhere else to do business except with you. And autoresponders are a huge part of that, building a raving fanship. They really work. Otherwise, if you're not sending any autoresponders out, how are you getting any of your messages to your tribe here? And building a tribe is what you really want, not just an email list. So good question on that as well. All right, and let me see. John saying I have a bias to the ladies, for winning. Do I really? Shemaya, Laura, and Terry. Oh, they're all female. Hell, I didn't even realize that. Absolutely right, John. I like the eye candy, man. Why do I want a bunch of guys hanging out in my group? You know me. The only guys I want to see are playing football. Other than that, that's funny though. You guys are great. All right. If you have any more questions, get them in. If you don't, you can just reply to the email I send out. Feel free to do that. You know that every newsletter I send out, you can hit reply, and I actually see that. I answer a lot of questions that way. So if you don't have any questions right now, get them in. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here if you don't have any questions, but I'll be more than happy to answer them for as long as it takes, because I always stay around and make sure that everybody's getting all their questions answered. I always answer all my email. It's part of my 115% customer service rating, which blows hell out of anybody else out there. So Terry says, good night, Vicky. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, good night, Vicky. Not good night, Colin. Whatever. Vicky said good night too. Everybody loves her. They love her more than they love me just about. All right. expertwebwriting.com/email, $47 one time, and you'll get all of this. I mean, come on. It's the best deal of the year. And it hasn't gone up in price. I'm not going to tell you it's going to go up in price. I'm not going to tell you they better get it by midnight. It's going to be $97 or any of this other garbage. $47. Whenever you want to take advantage of it, I'll be here waiting for you. Recommend it to your friends if you want. If you know someone who's not getting any sales from their list, this is a start. And there's a lot to this. So, all right, I'm going to get out of here. Flora says, thanks, Colin. Great webinar. I appreciate everyone being here tonight and spending time with me on a Thursday. I know that the weather was really bad, and I hope that we have a nice warm spring coming very soon. And I'll send out the recording and the slides tomorrow. Congratulations to the Dream Alliance winners for February 10th. And if you have any questions, get them in. I'm Colin, your host. And Vicki and I say good night, and we'll talk to you at the next webinar, probably maybe next Thursday, but maybe not. Who knows? You'll be notified when the next webinar is. I'm trying to keep a very open schedule this year. Sometimes I just want to go back to bed. You know how it is. John says, great stuff as usual. I appreciate everybody being here. Good night.